Sherm Chester with you on this edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum. Our special guest today from the Seacoast Media Group, Jay Pinsonnault. I catch his byline on seacoastonline.com to get my sporting news. And Jay, you're out in Arizona on a working vacation, right?
Yes, I escaped the blizzard of 2026. I hope everyone is warm. I've been struggling in the 80s all week and applying sunscreen, and it's been a tough week, sure.
Let's get down to business. Bracketology. The NHIAA got the boys and girls Division I brackets out. Let's start ladies first. Division I basketball. Now, they don't have a first round bye for anybody. They have 16 teams that are going to be going into a preliminary round starting on Tuesday. The number 1 seed, Concord Christian, they'll be going up against the number 16 seed, Alvern, the Broncos. And then it's Bishop Girton Cardinals taking on Trinity. Nashua South Purple Panthers, they'll be taking on the Pinkerton Astros. The Exeter Bluehawks, they're seeded number 5 in the tournament for the ladies, and they're going to go up against the Portsmouth Clippers. Let's stop there for a minute. I'm really impressed with the Bluehawks this season, and I know you keep your tabs on both teams, the Bluehawks and the Clippers. Tell me something about what you expect there.
Yeah, I talked to both Kayleen Rogers and Tim Hopley yesterday, coaches of Exeter and Portsmouth, and both are excited for this upcoming first-round game at Exeter. After back-to-back seasons where they were the 9 seed, Exeter comes in at the 5 with a 13-5 record. These two teams met in the second game of the regular season, and Exeter pulling out a 49-48 overtime win over Portsmouth back in December. Both teams are different now, but I'm expecting a very competitive 5-12 game here on Monday at Exeter High School.
And I'll tell you, I covered some of the games being the public address announcer for the ladies and the guys this year, and I was very impressed with their play inside. They've got I call them the Twin Towers, the Mellick sisters, Jessica and Nicole, and they back each other up. They get underneath the boards, put the ball up, and rebound for each other, and just keep going. So that's a big factor going into the tournament for the Bluehawks, and all the other team members are complementary to those two. So it's going to be an exciting tournament, I think, for the Bluehawks this year. And the Clippers, like you say, they're no pushovers.
Yeah, what's funny about Portsmouth this year is that they have 5 new starters from last year's team. They graduated all 5 starters from last year. They went 9-9 last year and got bounced in the first round. And this year, with a whole new starting group, they actually did better than last year. They went 10-8. They're the 12 seed, and Tim Hopley's very excited for the start of the tournament. He says they are a much better team now than they were at the beginning of the season, and he knows in order to be competitive and to move on, he's going to have to stop the Exeter's big 3 of the Mellick twins and Lexi Rogers as well. All 3 of those girls averaged in double figures this season for the Bluehawks. Lexi averaging 14.5 points a game. Jessica Mellick, 13.5 points and 11 rebounds a game. And Nicole Mellick averaging 11 points a game. So he knows in order to be competitive, he's going to have to contain those 3 girls. And he's looking forward to it. And it should be a good one. Coach Rogers was saying how it's fun to play another Seacoast team in the first round. The atmosphere should be exciting with towns just 10, 15 minutes away from each other. So
I love the inside game that those 2 sisters bring to the Bluehawk. Lexi Rogers is the gunner and handles the ball well to get it down on our side of the court. In the bottom bracket, it's number 2 seed Bedford, the Bulldogs, taking on Nashua North. And then you got the combined team, Manchester Central West, going up against Salem. Number 3 seed Londonderry will be hosting the Keene Blackbird ladies. And then the 6th seed is Wyndham, and they'll be taking on Timberlane, the Owls. So any of those, other than those two teams we focused on, Exeter and Portsmouth. Any of those other teams that you could give us any clue of how they'll do in the ladies' tourney?
Yeah, I think the prohibitive favorite, at least in my end, is Concord Christian. They went 17-1 in the regular season. Bedford went 16-2. They're the 3 seed. Oh, I'm sorry, the 2 seed. Nashua South 15-3. Londonderry 15-3. Wrap up the 4 seeds there. So I would say Concord Christian is the favorite going into this, but as you know, everyone starts seasons 0-0. And anyone can beat anybody. And Concord Christian's lone loss of the season came at home on February 13th against Bedford, a 47-44 loss. So my Division One prediction is the seeds are going to hold true, and you will have Concord Christian and Bedford competing for the championship Saturday, March 14th at the University of New Hampshire. Game time there is 4 o'clock from Lundholm Gymnasium.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend of basketball. The ladies are on Saturday. The guys will be doing it on Sunday, D1 and D2. Just to wrap up our coverage of the ladies, the first 2 rounds are at the higher seed. So the preliminary rounds of the preliminary round will be at the home of the higher seed. Quarterfinal games will be at the higher seed. The championship game on, as Jay just said, Saturday, March 14th at 4 o'clock is what I've got down here and now. So we will keep you posted if they do change times. Sometimes they rotate it. And one goes before 2 or 2 goes before 1. But right now it's set for 4 o'clock for Division 1 girls championship at Lundholm. Now let's move on to the guys. Any surprises in the boys Division 1 basketball brackets for you?
Not at all. I think everyone entered the season expecting Portsmouth to be the number 1 seed. They are. They went 17-1 this season. They have the only bye as the top seed. They suffered their only loss of the season at home against Pinkerton Academy. I believe that was on middle of February as well. And they went into that game 17-0, lost to Pinkerton 83-75. And then they got back on track with a regular season ending victory at Goffstown, 78-66 on February 24th. So I think everyone expected Portsmouth to be the number 1 seed. That's the case. And it's good to see 3 Seacoast teams in the 15-team field of Division 1. And going into this thing, I believe my favorite again is going to have the seeds hold true, and you will see Portsmouth and Bedford at the Division One championship game on Sunday, March 15th, and that will be again at UNH.
Now, the rest of the brackets shape up like this, and Exeter, the Bluehawks, they defeated Goffstown in what was an overtime contest. I don't know if you saw the replay or saw the game live, but that last minute or last second pass from Tyler Ream to Nate Tomasi under the basket for the win in that game against Goffstown. So they get the 8th seed, but they're going to play number 9 Goffstown in the first round. So anything you can tell me about that?
Yeah, that previous meeting, you mentioned the last second win there. I saw the video of the game-winning shot, last second shot, and I reached out to Coach Holmes trying to get in touch with Tyler. And so I talked to him, and the first thing I asked Tyler that night after throwing that pass was if he showed that clip to Coach Ball to see if that could be put in the game plan for next fall with the Bluehawk football team. But that was a great win for Exeter that night. And the interesting thing that Tyler told me is that they practice that play all the time, and that had never worked until that game. With Exeter hosting Goffstown, that basically enabled Exeter to stay home in the first round. The only problem with the 8-9 game is the winner gets the number 1 seed. So you'd almost rather be the 10 seed than the 8 or 9, so you avoid the number 1 seed. But I'm sure if Exeter were to survive this one and advance in the to see Portsmouth, then what a great game that would be. Selfishly for me, having two Seacoast teams play in the quarterfinal game, and Exeter and Portsmouth met back in December 19th at Exeter, and the Clippers pulling out a 65-52 one there. So, but first things first, Goffstown on Wednesday, March 4th. I believe that's a 6 o'clock start at Exeter, and if anything, I'm sure the excitement level, if it can be duplicated from the regular season matchup, I'm sure everyone will be excited to watch that first round game between those two teams.
I just think it's going to be a great game. Those two teams, and again, it's like going from the frying pan into the fire. Whoever wins that one has to go up against the Clippers. But you know something? I saw it last year. And I say we, the Bluehawks had to play Nashua South, who they were a dominant team all season long last year. And we had to play them on their home court in the quarterfinal round, and we beat them. So anything could happen in that quarterfinal round. Okay. It's like you say, 0-0 when you go into this tournament. So, but the Clippers are definitely a dominating team.
Yeah,
they're
the team to beat. They're the team to beat, and Coach Movey knows that, and he says there's a lot of teams that are playing very good basketball right now and capable of winning a championship. So he knows that this is not going to be handed to them; that they're going to work for it. But he understands the pressure that is on Portsmouth as this tournament begins on next Wednesday, and they don't play. They get a little bit of rest. They don't play again until a week from tomorrow in the quarterfinal game. I believe that'll be a Saturday 2 p.m. game at Portsmouth High School.
Now, whoops. And at number 4 seed, that's Pinkerton, the Astros. They'll take on the Dover Green Wave, the number 13 seed. And before I go any further there, now Pinkerton was the team that defeated Portsmouth. And I had said to Coach Bill Taylor, and you know, this man had an undefeated team, Bluehawk team years ago. Is it better to go into the tourney with a loss? I mean, going in with a perfect season and regular season, then going into the tournament, you got kind of a monkey on your back or a bullseye, whatever you want to say. But do you think now it'll make them a little more aware that, hey, we've got to tighten it up?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Where especially that they lost against a team that has the potential to win it all. It's not like they lost to a non-playoff team. They lost to one of the best teams in the state, and now they know they can be beat. And they're gonna, as I said, it's not going to be handed to them. That teams are going to be gunning after them, and they're going to get the best of every team they play, simply because with all the attention that Portsmouth has received this season, they get that big target on their back. And I think it's better to go 17-1 than 18-0, because I think it serves a little bit of a wake up call that we do have to go out and play. We can't take anybody lightly, and we can't just roll the ball out on the court and win. We're going to have to work for it. So I think that loss could be beneficial for Portsmouth as it goes into the tournament.
I that's my thinking too. I said that to Bill Taylor, and Bill says, no, you never want to lose a game. I understand that too from a coach's philosophy, but there again, that bullseye on your back, monkey on your back, whatever cliche you want to use, it's over. Now you go in there again. You said it earlier, 0-0, and you just play up to your potential. The rest of the bracket, number 5, Bishop Girton, they'll be hosting Manchester Memorial. That's a good team. We got to play them at home this year. Danny Bryson has a good team there, so that could be an upset. Number 2, Bedford will be taking on Merrimack, the Tomahawks. They're number 15 seed. Nashua South, and that's a good team too. Nate Mazeral has a good team there. They surprised the Bluehawks. Bluehawks had them in control when we played them at home a week ago, and then all of a sudden the second half went to the Purple Panthers. They host Wyndham, another tough team. Number 3, Trinity, the number 3 seed, hosts the Londonderry Lancers, and wrapping up the brackets, number 6, Alvern, the Broncos, a team you don't hear much about, and we didn't play them. The Bluehawks didn't play them this year. They'll be hosting Keene. Anything else about any of those others that I just mentioned that you've feelings towards any of them? Any upsets you think could happen?
Yeah, the only other Seacoast team in there is we talked about Dover going on the road and facing number 4 Pinkerton. Um, Dover and Pinkerton just met on this past Tuesday. Pinkerton 97-75 win over Dover. So I'd be surprised if Dover were to advance, but never doubt a Matt Fennessy coach team. He'll have them playing well, and they may not win, but I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than their 22-point loss on Tuesday. I think he'll take some things that they did not do well, and I think it's almost advantageous for them to see each other so quickly after playing them, so they can adjust from what did not go well in the regular season. And Dover's led by junior Michael Gorman. He averaged 18 points and 5 rebounds a game. Coach Fennessy believes that 18-point average has Gorman sixth in all of D1 scoring. So they do have players on that team that can keep that game competitive. I think it will be more competitive than their regular season game, but I see Pinkerton moving on and advancing to the quarterfinal round.
I know you mentioned earlier it would have been better, especially for the Bluehawks, to be the number 10 seed in the tourney because that puts you in the bottom bracket and
Yep.
for a collision course at some point potentially with Bedford, the Bulldogs. But that 7-10 game, that's again Nashua South, and if the Bluehawks would have played, it would have been South hosting again, second year in a row, and last year didn't go in favor of the Purple Panthers. And I said, and we played them in the regular season, and Nate Mazerall was part of the Exeter Bluehawk coaching staff almost 30 years ago. And we always talk before the game because he's a really good guy. And I said to him, I said, don't take revenge on us tonight, please. and he did.
Yep. He didn't listen to you.
He didn't listen to me. He's a
No.
nice guy, a good guy. And that's if there's an upset in that bottom bracket, that's the one that I think right now I would pick. But there again, you got some great, you got, as far as I can see here, 16 great teams. So, anybody could take this, but I probably would go with 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm bleeding blue here. So I'm hoping we could pull an upset against the Clippers, but first we have to get past Goffstown too. We can't just hope that we have another overtime thriller. We got to get that. You got to get the job done, no matter who it is in the tournament. And it's all first rounds again at home, higher seed. Second round, quarterfinal round. That's at the higher seed. And ditto for the semis. They go to the Rochester Rec Centers,
Yeah.
where the semifinal contest for Division One will be. They played.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous to have a state semifinal at the Rochester Recreation Center.
I didn't go last year, I have to admit.
It's after covering high school basketball tournament games in Maine, which the atmosphere is electric, and then go across the border there to New Hampshire and have a state semifinal at the Rochester Recreation Center is, I think NHIAA needs to rethink where they have their semifinal games, because it should not be held at any high school. It should be held either at UNH, bring back the Final Four at UNH and not just the championship game, or do something else where you're not holding it at. And why Rochester? Like, I don't understand that, but
it is kind of different. Let's put it that way, to have the semifinal rounds there.
And stands on one side of the floor. That's it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
they don't have it on the other side, and
you and I aren't on the committee.
No, I was not asked.
And it all culminates on the 15th of March. That's a Sunday at UNH Lindholm Gymnasium, 4:00, the Division I Boys Championship game. So it's going to be a dynamite weekend of basketball for the ladies and D1, D2, and ditto for the boys on Sunday. I just hope the weather is moderating by then, so we don't have to worry about any blizzards and postponements and shuffling things around and whatever. Get the tourney over with. The kids are excited to play. Let's do it. So we don't have D2 because their season is still going on. They have one more day as we record this, so they'll have their bracket up probably over the weekend, and we'll have that definitely in the next program. So the anything in the other divisions that you could tell me about the locals that are involved in any of the others?
No, everyone else got eliminated. St. Thomas Aquinas got eliminated, I believe, in the quarterfinal round. The St. Thomas girls were eliminated, I believe, in the quarterfinals as well. They were the defending Division III state champions. Actually, in Division One, Portsmouth Christian last night beat Newmarket in double overtime to advance to the Division IV semifinals, which is going to be held on Monday against top-seeded Littleton at Manchester Memorial High School. Portsmouth Christian is the 4 seed, and they beat number 5 Newmarket last night and will play in the semifinals Monday night at Memorial.
All right. So, and then I was asked about the hockey. They still haven't got the brackets up yet for hockey because I guess their season is
Yeah, their season's still going on.
Yeah, still going on. So we'll get back to folks on that as well in our next program. You are on a working. This is a working vacation for you?
Correct. Yeah, my in-laws live out here. My wife is from here, and last couple of years we've come out to visit during February vacation break. So I've been not working a full week, but still working every day a little bit to as the games are being played, and Brandon is holding down the fort, as they say in the Seacoast.
Well, somebody had to be out west and in the sunshine too. But you said it's a working vacation, so you also have time to kick back and watch some baseball. You've been to you told me the Sun Devils to watch the ASU team, and then also
yeah. My youngest son and I went to ASU baseball against St. John's last Saturday and Sunday. We've hit minor league baseball. We've hit Major League Baseball spring training Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. We went to the Celtics game on Tuesday against the Suns, so that was good. I was very excited when I saw the schedule that the Celtics were going to be out here when we were out here, so that was good to go to that game Tuesday night, which was I think it was like a 15-point win for the Celtics, who were without Jaylen Brown as well, as he was dealing with his knee issue. So even without Jaylen Brown, the Celtics were able to beat the Phoenix Suns by, I think it was 15 or 16 points. And then we fly back on a red eye tomorrow, and then I'm home for a week, and then I'm off to Florida next Saturday for my oldest son's college baseball trip down to Florida. So,
what teams will he be playing in Florida? You know yet?
He'll be playing in I believe it's called the Russ Matt Invitational. So they're going to be playing the games almost every day. They play UMass Boston, which is kind of funny that they play UMass Boston down there. They also play Thomas College, a Maine school down there, and they also play a few teams from all over the country. So another week of baseball down in Florida. So.
And did you get to see while you're out there some Cactus League action?
Yeah, every day. On Monday, I went to the San Francisco Giants training facility in Scottsdale, trying to catch up with Quinn McDaniel of Marshwood High School, one of the kids featured in our annual Seacoast spring training baseball story. And of all the complexes we've gone to this week and in prior years, I think San Francisco, at least for access for the fans, is probably the least attractive to go to. They have it all pretty much locked down, where fans can walk around and watch practice ahead of games. And so I was unable to catch up with Quinn because all practices were gated off. But it's been a great week, and I think today we're scheduled to go to start the day at the White Sox camp, where Bryce likes to. The White Sox camp is nice. They share a complex with the Dodgers. It's at Camelback Ranch, and the White Sox facility, one of their practice fields that they take batting practice on. There's always a bunch of kids hanging out in left field trying to catch some home run balls. So Bryce has enjoyed going to the White Sox and doing his best trying to catch some balls. And the other day we came home with 10. So
Wow.
and then we were at Goodyear on Wednesday for the Guardians and Rangers, and Bryce caught his first ever foul ball. So that was that was pretty good. It was we were seated behind home plate. There was a carom off the press box behind us, and he caught it off the fly off the carom. So that was foul ball number one. He still has 5 more to catch up to his old dad. So
a little competition there, huh?
I'm up 6-1. So
I love it. Now, when you go to Florida, are you going to be catching up with any of the guys now? That was a story that's in seacoastonline.com with your byline about some of the local kids, the New Hampshire kids, including a couple right, close by here, Ben and Cody from the Bluehawks that are in minor league camps this year. Are you going to be going down and checking them out or talking to them?
Yeah, there's I believe there's 7 Seacoast baseball players involved in major league or involved in professional baseball right now. Players, you have 5. Coaches, you have 2. The 5 players are Exeter's Cody Morissette, Ben Malgeri, Morissette with the Marlins organization, Malgeri with the Tigers. Then you have Brennan Oxford, who went to Oyster River High School. He's with the Minnesota Twins. Oxford once threw 4 straight no-hitters when he was at Oyster River. You have Quinn McDaniel of Marshwood with the Giants, as I said, and the final player we have is Ryan Minkler from Portsmouth, is with the Washington Nationals. And then the 2 coaches, we have Mike Montville of Portsmouth High School. He's with the Baltimore Orioles. And Montville's high school teammate, Mike Francoso, he's with the New York Yankees organization. He's the hitting coach for AA Somerset. So in regards to, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch any of those. I think Jason has games every day. So I think that would be my allegiance would be towards him rather than Major League camp, but I think there's one off day, so who knows? Maybe it won't be a far drive to see one of those guys at wherever they are. So
I was talking to Cody's mom at one of the girls' basketball games, and I guess he's anxious to stay in AAA and then hopefully make that move to the majors this year. So that's what
he's close.
Yeah, he's close and he's good, and Ben as well, and with the Tigers, that they can use all the help they can get too. I mean, they got the pitching, they just got other parts they need to fill in that blanks. And
and Ben, in that story, Ben was very excited that he is with. He started in big league camp this year for the first time. So with the Tigers, he stayed at AA last year, hoping to make the move to AAA, I believe would be Toledo. And then again, you're one injury, one call away from getting into the major leagues, which would be great for Cody and Ben. It's always great to see a local reach their goals after chasing them for their entire lives.
Now, one thing about baseball in general, there's, and I keep hearing it on the national scene, that there could be a lockout. Are you hearing anything about that where you are? Or?
Yeah, from everything that I've heard, and who knows how true it is, but they would not be surprised that if there's no baseball at all in the 2027 season. A lot of people are saying the current situation where the Dodgers it's the Dodgers and everybody else. Roger Brown would say it's fine what the Dodgers are doing, but I think all owners, if you own a professional baseball team, you should spend money on the players, and the Dodgers have done that. There's many teams that go into spring training knowing that they have no chance to compete for a World Series. So I think something has to change where everyone it's more of a level playing field. And I think what's going to happen, I think you're going to institute some sort of a salary cap where you have a max amount of money you can spend, but you also have a floor that teams have to spend at least a certain amount of money before you go into a season. So who knows? Hopefully they can figure it out, because I don't think anyone benefits from a lost season, which could happen in 2027.
And you don't want to see that happen, because and I think it was the two of us were kicking around last time that they've got the Dodgers. I know, and I've said this to Roger Brown, have a $2 billion media stream thanks to Japanese TV, the Japanese media markets. And that, to me, that's where I have a problem. That puts them definitely a leg up even over the Yankees. I hate seeing teams like and legendary teams like Kansas City and Pittsburgh basically are quadruple A teams that they put out there. And the one or two stars that they develop usually jump ship as soon as they can make a bigger payday with a bigger team or a more profitable team. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
And with the revenue sharing, a lot of these teams, like a lot of these owners, are not reinvesting that money that they're getting from the revenue sharing back into the on-field product. These owners are pocketing the money where all that money should be reinvested into the team and increase payroll, and not into the owners' pockets.
2-minute drill time. If you even though you've been on a working vacation, I know you've been working. So anything in the Seacoast Online we should be looking for?
Sunday morning, we're going to have that story about the Division I boys and girls preview that publishes 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. And then Brandon Brown is working on a story. A youth New Hampshire hockey team won I believe it's the 14 and under Tier 2 state championship last weekend, and they will be going to nationals next month in Texas. And they're currently looking for some support with the expenses that are going to be involved with heading a team to the national tournament in Texas.
For my 2-minute drill, I wanted to take you back to a couple of nights ago when I got to sit down with Coach Bill Taylor. We wrapped up the regular Bluehawk boys basketball season, and we got to sit down after the game and talk about his thoughts when it comes to the upcoming tournament and what the Bluehawks have to do to be successful.
The Bluehawks play great defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they rebound. They do those things really well. What they need to do is, and I know Coach Holmes knows this, consistency on offense. They can't be streaky. What they need to do is value the basketball and get a good shot every possession.
Right.
And when they do get fouled, they need to go to the foul line and make their foul shots. Those are free points. You take advantage of them.
And Coach Taylor has also been doing broadcast for the Exeter Bluehawk girls basketball team as well this season. So I asked him, going into the tournament, what do the girls have to do to be successful?
They have played very good team basketball. They have some players who don't score a lot, but who are key to their wins. And it helps to have the two sisters.
The Twin Towers.
Yeah, and, they do a great job. They score inside. They rebound the basketball. They do what you need. And Rogers, for the most part, has put the ball in the hoop. So they do a lot of good things.
Thanks to Coach Bill Taylor. We'll be looking forward to having him doing play-by-play on Bluehawk Media on both the boys and girls' upcoming tournament games. So on behalf of Coach Bill Taylor and our special guest today, Jay Pinsonnault from Seacoast Media Group, and where I get all my sports, seacoastonline.com, this is Sherm Chester inviting you to join us for the next edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum podcast.